What's up, everybody? Welcome to In Before the Lock, where we talk all things pinball mods. And you've got Rob and Davey on episode 30. Davey, we gonna do 30 more of these, man? What's the story? Is this working?
Yeah, may as well. May as well do another 30,
well.
see where we're at after 60.
Oh man, it's great to be with you guys. We are excited to talk to you about Expo 2025, our third Expo together. We did some walking around the floor, checked some stuff out. Unlike last year, we're not going to do like a full-on video, but we're going to play some of the video we took at the show. But Davey, man, it was great to see you. You came in hot and crashed, I think, right?
Yeah, I did, man. Sunday night, I was nowhere to be seen. I was like incommunicado, turned my phone off.
We had a bunch of people coming by looking for you on Saturday.
Oh no,
and,
no, literally, I went back to my hotel room with the brilliant scheme of just like getting an hour's power nap, and then like woke up the next day. So I completely failed.
Yeah, all good, man. Well, it was great hanging out with you. It certainly was some long days and long nights. Let us know how the audio is, folks. If there's something we can do to tweak it, let us know. But yeah, we're gonna talk about all things Expo. The homebrew game was off the charts. We had some new, very interesting titles to play in Winchester. Got to look at Predator. Davey got his hands on Harry Potter, Dune, and Star Wars for the very first time. We can talk about Star Wars since you and I just did our last video on that one.
That should be a fun conversation.
Yeah, that'll be a good one. And then we had some kind of fun stories, controversies going on the floor. Real quick, we got a heads up yesterday that Spooky has dropped the Beetlejuice title, and it's coming, I think, on November 14th of this coming month. So got a little video clip, just one clip, I think, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Kind of revealing, like they showed us the translate effectively, right?
Yeah. I saw that, and it looks good, doesn't it? Looks more sort of in the sort of Evil Dead sort of vein of style. I mean, I guess it's Frenchy again, isn't it? So you would expect it to sort of them to be following that same pattern that they did for Evil Dead. But I don't know, man. Are you excited for it?
Yeah. I guess you're going to be able to talk to the machine. I can't stand talking to those devices at home, so I'm not sure.
I can't stand talking to anybody. I'm like antisocial. The last thing I want to do is talk to my machine. Apparently, the rumor on the street is my sources tell me that that Spooky have sort of invested heavily time-wise into voice audio recognition over the last 6 months. So, so there's definitely, I think Canada was the first one, wasn't he, who suggested that you can turn on the machine by saying Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. So whether that's part of the game or not, I guess we'll have to wait and see.
We'll see. I saw Canada at the show. He came by our booth. I saw he did a podcast with Don, so I guess those guys are cool now. His dream theme was Big Trouble in Little China.
Okay.
And I was excited for him to see it. And Big Trouble in Little China was in our booth, and he walks up, and I go, "Hey, Kyle," because Kyle Smith did the game.
Yeah.
He's like, "Hey, this is Chris. He wants to check out your game." He's like, "Canada, no." Obviously, he was super cool with it, but it was
okay. That's probably the right approach to meeting Canada for the first time, isn't it? Like, it's
but
playing
like you,
strength.
I don't even think he got to play it, man. I mean, the line was insane. You didn't get it.
I feel so, Kyle. If you ever end up watching this stream, either live or on record, I'm so sorry, man. Like, we had some great chats, me and Kyle, and I got to talk to him a lot about the game and a lot about sort of why he made certain decisions on the game, and and I'm just so in awe of the amount of time and effort that went into this and how he was able to pull this together over such a short period of time. But unfortunately, mate, I didn't get to play it. Every time I was over there, both Kyle and I looked at the line, and it was probably a good 10 people deep, and I'll be like, I'll get onto it later. I'll come in the morning or whatever it is. And unfortunately, I just didn't get an opportunity. So that's one of my big regrets. But look, if you don't leave a pinball show with at least a few regrets, then you're not doing it properly.
Yeah, it was really cool. I got to play it 3 or 4 times by the end of the show because I had to stand in the line, of course. Um, he had learned a lot from how he had his Friday the 13th game set up, and that he allowed you to get to some of the multi balls a lot faster. So the code that he had on there was kind of show specific,
Okay,
so that
yeah,
people could get kind of deep into the game. But yeah, it feels amazing. It won best of show for the homebrew category, which is well deserved, and just an
absolutely.
overall really amazing package. And we were honored to, be a part of it in terms of helping out with the topper as
Yeah.
well. I've got a little bit of video on it. I mean, I think probably most of you guys have seen it at this point. I'm going to be jumping to a little bit of video as we go throughout. But yeah, the overall package was just incredible. He had artwork from Brian Allen, as well as Randy Martinez on this. I think Randy did. Can't remember his last project, but he's done a number of Stern machines. Then he had a Big Trouble in Little China fan art for the Translite.
Hmm.
But it ran really well throughout the entire show. There's Kyle there. I think we're past the Canada moment by this point.
And
But
Scott
yeah, it was
Denisi, Scott Denisi
it
on
was
sound.
incredible. Say that again.
Scott Denisi on sound.
Scott Denisi on sound. Yep. And yeah, Kyle's second game. So he's kicking ass. I don't know what he's got planned next. I know he's got lots of people reaching out to him, but overall, really cool to give that a shot.
I mean, it's hard to imagine that Kyle's not going to, get sucked into a pinball company to do work, because he's just a crazy talent,
Yeah.
and just gets stuff done, doesn't he? Like, he's just very capable human being. So, big ups to Kyle. He's just doing incredible work.
The polish on the screen is top notch. I mean, he literally has like a match sequence at the end. He has like a high score leaderboard. These are things that, shoot, you're not even seeing some of this stuff in production games from the start.
Yeah.
Very well done. I mean, I can refer to many that don't have that stuff polished and probably never will. And his stuff has that. So definitely hats out to him. Homebrew wise, also just like insane setup. So if you thought the homebrew booth was big at Expo 2024, this was over the top. Kudos to, and I'll play get a little bit of video going on this. Kudos to the Marco team, Emoto, as well as the Fast team with Aaron Davis. Ernie was a big part of it. So many people, I'm sure, were throwing in on that experience, as well as all the amazing homebrews. I mean, the quality level is over the top. This is the Monsters Inc. machine from Ernie Silverberg, who also worked on the Motherload machine. And then, yeah, I mean, what was your impression? I'll let this kind of play, but what was your initial thoughts after walking through the behemoth?
Like, yeah, and that's the Harry Potter, isn't it? Is that right? Yeah, it is.
It
yeah,
wasn't on. It wasn't on here.
I did get a couple of balls on it, luckily, until it had a couple. Oh, that's a machine rebooting the background. If you heard that. Yeah, I mean, that's a fantastic. Look, every time you think the homebrew has reached sort of like the pinnacle of what it's capable of, you go to Expo the following year and there's more games, the polish is higher, the quality of the games is better, and I mean, these are essentially very close to being production level games. Probably the only thing stopping them from being production level is the amount of stuff that's in them. They're probably uneconomical to turn into production games as they are. But these are all professionally. This is the Coming to America game. We talked a lot to. What was your friend's name?
Ricardo.
Rob? Ricardo. Yeah, lovely guy. This is his first ever attempt at a homebrew, and it's just. I mean, it wasn't playing at this expo, was it? But probably will be by the time of TPF.
Yeah, he did have the cabinet there, but it was coming along. I did see a lot of the Stern guys in line to play it at one point, so I think he had it going. But also, this is sitting in the Fast booth. So Fast does a lot of the controller systems for homebrew games, and they're a big sponsor of this booth and supporter of these guys. Aaron actually drove from Washington State all the way across the country, picked up like 5 or 10 homebrew pinball machines to bring to the show in Chicago, and then drove back. So he's an amazing supporter of the space.
Yeah.
That's Ricardo right there.
Yeah. Good old
Coming to
Ricardo.
America.
Yeah.
And that's Davey's face. This is the. Did you get to play this? This was.
I didn't, mate. No, I didn't. I didn't get to play it. No.
Yeah, the video online of this thing's incredible. It looks really cool with the lights going, but it's like a tabletop game, and you actually like kind of hug it to play it,
Yeah.
which is really fun.
Yeah.
And a couple Adventure Time games.
Yeah.
They had Sonic Spinball
Sonic
by
Spinball.
Ryan McQuaid. Who actually won the homebrew topper contest. We'll talk about that.
Oh, okay, right. That's interesting.
This was
the
another
other
kind of
head-to-head.
two-player game
Yep.
that was really fun. There was the really popular Monster Hockey game, which we'll show you guys.
Yeah, we should have a bit of a chat about that because that was, besides Big Trouble in Little China. And it's probably incorrect to be talking about this now while we're looking at these other games, but Monster Hockey just had a lot of attention all show, didn't it? I mean, it had an amazing display. There was like a big sign with artwork by Brad Albright. The artwork on the game was done by Brad Albright as well. Is Jake Danzig who did the design work on Monster Hockey? And it was a beautiful playing game. So the idea is a ice hockey head-to-head game in much the same way as the old what was the one that was at TPF? So it's like the football.
The Alvin G.
Alvin G.
It was actually a re-theme of that.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So,
I didn't realize it was re-theme.
I've got it. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. So this was really fun. I mean, they had an amazing booth set up. But the Brad Albright, did you mention Brad did the artwork on this one?
Mm-hmm.
Some of the gals that have the mohawks that you often see there in the artwork. And this was just a ton of fun. Davey and I did end up getting to play.
I can't remember who won that game though, Rob. Do you remember?
I don't remember either. I played Alec as well. And he had a little bit of a bug that tripped us up, so I can't remember. But it was cool. Yeah. I mean, I think really there was some talk of like this play speed could have been sped up, so there was a little bit of like feedback they were getting on how.
So essentially, that was a bit of a problem in the show setup. Was that it probably took a while to get a game because the 3 periods sort of were about 2 minutes each, so it's about 6 minutes a game, no matter what you do. So that's kind of a bit tricky in a show setup, and also like in terms of they had these really cool features where essentially your players got tired and that decreased your flipper potency, so your flippers became weaker as the game went on, which is a really cool idea, but at the same time nobody wants weak flippers. So it was a bit of a funny sort of concept, I think, because you sort of question whether it's the game or a feature, and had to be explained that was that actual feature. But one of the really cool aspects about Monster League Hockey is that it is going to go into production, or at least if they get enough interest, it's going to go into production. So in the thread on Pinside, they've started to take an interest list for people who actually want one of these games. And I think if they get a certain number, that it is going to go into production. So if you did get to play it at Expo and you were really keen on it, and you want one for your house, then jump on the Pinside thread and make it known, because it would be really, really cool if there were some of these out in the wild eventually. And it's a tricky one because it's obviously a 2-player game. So for people who play pinball on their own, which is a lot of us, it's not going to be suitable for a lot of games rooms. But you can imagine it at parties, kids playing each other, and it was getting a lot of attention from younger generation people playing each other, and that's a really cool thing that pinball needs. So I'm a big fan of this work, and I hope it sees the light of day.
Yeah, and the original Alvin G game, which I think was from the 80s or 90s, it actually had a 1-player version. It has these interesting metal bars that sit over the flippers, so whenever the ball hits the flipper, it flips. Now it's not something you probably are going to have a ton of fun with, but it's definitely neat. But just the form factor, I think, in the right size collection could be really cool to have. And again, the polish is just off the charts. So definitely a cool one to check out. I
Absolutely.
think, I mean, there was so many homebrews. I wish we had a little bit more video, but I'll also call out the fact that there was a homebrew topper competition as well. So Don's Pinball Podcast did a contest where they gave away a bunch of prizes. We were part of that prize mix as well. And this is the one that won ultimately. This is Ryan McQuaid, who designer from American Pinball, who did Cuphead. We'll see what happens with that. But Ryan did Sonic Spinball in the homebrew
Yep.
booth, and he ended up winning with that. But there was some other really cool stuff. This is a topper for D&D that you can pick up from the Pinball Scientist. He actually sells
Hmm.
this one in a limited production. And then we had a really cool Godzilla one. And this the Batman 66 remake. This is Don's King Kong topper that he did, and then this is
Yeah.
Don's X-Men topper that he did.
Yeah.
And there was a really interesting. Oh yeah, here we go. The Whoa Nelly topper. That one's really cool. So
Yeah. Yeah.
if you're into pinball, you've probably done a homebrew topper. I think most people that are into pinball have done something. But Don and Rob Burke partnered to really kind of blow this out this year. So that was really fun.
Yeah, very cool idea. I hope they do it on subsequent shows as well because it's a very very cool idea.
Yeah. So what's next? What do you want to hit next in
Well,
the show?
let's talk about your booth, man. I mean, it was
Sure.
very exciting this year.
Yeah, we
Um,
uh, we had a lot of fun with our booth. This video is up on our Instagram, I think. That's George Petro, the coder for Pulp Fiction, playing along with Roger Sharp and then Joe Kamikow. So tons of big names in pinball playing the game
yeah,
and come and
man.
check it
Yeah.
out. So that was
There's
fun.
Alec
There's Alec filling the
doing
sucker
something with
jar.
his nuts.
And
And this is a bigger booth than you've ever had at any other show, isn't it? So
it
lot more
is,
work
yeah.
got put
Last
into it, a lot
year
more
we had
games.
the tents, but we kind of took it to another level this year.
Yeah, man,
Um,
I was so impressed with it. You know, you had these really great signs showing Electric Playground up in the sort of the ceiling area, a little sit down area here where people could go head to head on this amazing rotating pinball machine. Who'd you pick that one up from?
so Mad Pinball brought that. They're a distributor that carries our toppers, and they brought it along. It actually four players sit at it, and between each ball, the entire playfield rotates. So everyone uses
Yeah,
the same flippers, but the flippers rotate to your spot. So it's just a really cool experience. Very very rare game.
yeah,
And then we had Alice, which was the only one of three Alices on the booth. The only Alice that wasn't in the main Alice booth, and it was in a unique lighting setting. Got a lot of comments about being able to experience the lighting on that, and people really enjoyed it. We had, of course, had our topper on it, so that was cool. But
yeah.
overall, a great show. I mean, a lot of traffic in
Mm.
general. I don't know. How did you feel about it this year compared to previous ones?
I mean, I just thought it was so much more buzzy. There was always people around wanting to talk to you
Mm.
guys. I know you sold a lot of toppers, and that's fantastic. You know, and we were sort of talking a little bit about sort of, I guess, why this was such a bigger show for you guys. And you know, I think it's sort of multifaceted, really. I mean, obviously you had a bigger area. It was sort of laid out really well. It was a nice place to hang out. It was really easy to hang out there. There was always a lot of people around. You had Kyle with Big Trouble in Little China sort of off on the corner, which was always getting a lot of attention. So I think the footfall from Big Trouble sort of filtered through to the tent as well. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
and and you know, I think as well, probably in terms of, you know, the sales and stuff, you know, the elephant in the room is that, you know, maybe a couple of days before the show, Stern dropped the King Kong topper, the official Kong topper, and it was a bit underwhelming.
Yeah, all that contributed to it. I think having just more stuff for people to buy. I thought, the market is like we're always kind of analyzing it as mod makers or sellers of games, and you think sometimes the market is soft at different points, but a lot of people were picking stuff up. I think seeing it in person, a lot of people are waiting to see these things. The Kong topper, we got a lot of comments on, comparing our topper to the King Kong topper. both at a price point level because the Stern
Yeah,
one is quite a bit more, and then also just like it's interesting that they
functionality wise,
repeated the main mech again. Wow, you got a lot of updates coming through over there.
it does a double. Bzz. It always
Double
does. Yeah.
zip.
Yeah.
They repeated the just like on Godzilla on the topper again. So a lot of comments on that. You
Yeah.
know, a lot of people do like it though, and that's fine. But yeah, we had about 15 toppers that we brought to the show, and those all got picked
That's
up.
great, man. That's
And
great.
then,
Yeah.
and then
Look,
Davey, you had a little bit of a display going on.
I
You
had a
showed
little
off
bit of a display.
your
Yeah.
center building. Yeah.
I felt, yeah, yeah. I had a very micro display that I put together at the last minute. I mean, I was talking to Nicholas from Pin Sound about it and stuff. Being another sort of European mod maker who does come out to the shows, and Nicholas obviously goes to a lot more effort than I tend to do. I tend to use the shows just from a catching up with my friends and networking point of view, mainly because actually having a booth or a desk or whatever it would be at the show and selling product, I sort of can't quite work out how I would do that logistically and bringing all the product over. But Nicholas sort of does try to do that, and he ends up storing a lot of his product here in a lockup or with distributors, and then brings it to the show. But even then, he still feels very much like he's the poor cousin, with everybody with their big, rigs, and banners and lighting.
It's tough. I mean, if we weren't 4 hours from Chicago, I don't think we could pull off anywhere as close to what you just saw.
Yeah, and I saw your rig as you left. It was a massive trailer, and it's a huge undertaking, even for you. So to do it remotely is almost impossible. So I'll probably just keep doing what I'm doing and make up for it in other ways, I hope.
Well, I do have a bit of a surprise for you. So
Okay.
on Sunday, which I guess is yesterday, I went over to Alex's house. He's got his tricked out Godzilla going on, and he got his center building from Stumbler. So I got a little bit of video on that. I'll play it for you guys.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah, so his machine is amazing. I mean, he's got a lot more going on here than Stumbler stuff, but he does have all three buildings, and this was my first opportunity to ever see all three of your buildings kind of going in unison. And what I really love about what you did with these is that you started with the Tokyo Neon Tower, and all three of the buildings pay homage to the Tokyo Neon Tower off the Scoop. So they all go really well together. You're basically like flanking the left building with the Neon Tower and then flanking the right building with the Neon Tower. And I mean, obviously, you did this. I don't need to describe this to you.
Nice.
But I
like hearing it anyway.
I had never seen it before like that. And then I guess anybody who bought all of them gets this little custom plaque.
That's right. Yeah. So it was. I mean, that wasn't even my idea, man. Like that was a customer who came to me and suggested it as an idea to just basically say thank you to all the people who have made significant investments in my company buying those mods. And I just thought it was the most brilliant idea. I'd been trying to think of a way, because you quite often get asked for discounts, if you're buying all four mods or anything like that, and I couldn't work out a way of doing it so that it was fair. Because I don't, if I was going to give a discount to one person, I'd want to give a discount to everybody. And I couldn't work out a way of doing that so that it was evenly distributed amongst all the people who have supported us over the years. So when you suggested this plaque that goes in the usual sort of position on an LE game, they usually have a little plaque there to tell you that it's an LE machine or whatever it is and what number it is. I just thought it was the best concept. And I thought if I could light it up as well so that it could, be like a cool lighting feature, because obviously that's what we love doing, then so much the better. And then, just sort of came up with the mod. It worked really well. And then just sort of built a little system on our checkout process to check when a customer goes through it, looked at their previous orders, check to see sort of what mods they bought, and if they bought all all for, then it just included it automatically in their checkout basket. But obviously, not everybody's going to have bought directly from me. Some people buy on the secondary market. Some people buy the game and it's already got the mods installed. So we made sure that those people got covered as well, because, why not share love?
Yeah, no, it turned out great. We're getting a couple shout outs out there for Charles. We've of course got requests on more work. Are you working on more Kong stuff, Paul?
Yeah, we're working on yeah, no, yeah. So that's cool. I think me and Paul probably talked about this over PM on Pinside, but yeah, no, definitely working on some Kong stuff. Yeah, Skull Waterfall's definitely happening. We're working on the Spider as well. So that's all. Yeah, I don't mind sort of telling people that.
We got a ton of D&D requests for toppers. Like you've got your mod
D&D's
you did
a weird
for that.
one.
There's a lot of people super into their D&D. You got a lot of Metallica topper requests while you're there.
Okay. Yeah.
So thank you.
I mean,
thank you
D&D's a funny one.
Hung out. Yeah.
D&D's a funny one, man, because like I'm not convinced that it sold massively, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what I do think is the people who did buy it like D&D lends itself to tabletop gaming, to miniatures. The people who are into D&D tend to be into that kind of thing. And we always talk about this when we do our seminars and stuff. Like, when you try and work out what kind of mod to do, you've got to look at how well a game sells. But the weird one that is really hard to work out is, are the people who are buying this game going to be the types of people who buy mods? And that's a really tricky one to work out. But I think in D&D's case, that I think D&D lends itself to those types of people. The modding around D&D has been really solid.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I don't know the sales numbers between D&D and John Wick, but I can certainly tell you that the mod buyer mentality of those two would have to be very different.
Yeah, absolutely.
We got some Jaws questions. You got anything going on with Jaws?
Jaws. What am I going to do for Jaws? So I had. So obviously we've got the buoy of death, which is a buoy that rocks back and forth and has like an LED screen in it. That's heading back into production in the next couple of weeks, because obviously Jaws 50th came out and there's been a renewed interest in mods since Jaws 50th came out. And then we've obviously been supporting the chum chucking Brody mod, which is a mod that has Brody up on the orca chucking chum and stuff. So that's using one of our boards. Also, J85M is releasing like a torches mod that is going to be RGB, has an RGB sensor to sort of interact with the game's GI and things like that. We had promised to do more water in Jaws as well. That was going to run off the same system as the buoy of death, and reuse sort of a similar sort of water uplight and blood and chum in the water when certain things happen in the game as well. So we had promised that when the buoy first came out. I haven't had a chance to look at it just because we've been focusing on other things. But yeah, I think one day we'll definitely bring those back out as well.
Cool. All right, so we're on this virtual tour of the expo booth. Let's leave the electric playground stumbler area. Where do you want to go next?
Mate, let's get straight to Winchester, shall we? I mean, that's the
okay.
Yeah. Can we do that?
So, admittedly, I didn't get to play Winchester. Spent a lot more time in my booth, which is probably why we had more sales this year. And the line on this one was as equally as insane time-wise as Big Trouble. Did you get to play it?
I did, mate, a couple of times. Yeah, sorry to Kyle that I waited in line for Winchester and not Big Trouble. Please forgive me. Mainly just because I sort of just wanted to see. I'd put my name down for one. I'd sort of read the room a little bit, saw that it was kind of like quite hypey, that it was going to sell out. So I got my name down for one, and wanted to go talk to Carl, just sort of get his sort of read of the last couple of days.
Right, D'Angelo, the designer.
Carl D'Angelo,
streamer of IE Pinball.
Yeah. And so he's a big tournament player as well, isn't he? And this is his first game design with Barrels of Fun, who released Winchester. And just to give the background on Winchester for anybody that doesn't know, Winchester Mystery House is a game by Barrels of Fun that nobody knew was coming, really. You know, we didn't get any whispers of it, no rumors of it. Nobody mentioned that Barrels was going to drop another game at the time that they did. So it was a big surprise for everybody. And I think they dropped the announcement for it 3 days or so before Expo. And it was going to be a limited run. It was by a new designer, Carl D'Angelo, that everybody sort of knows and loves. He's a very sort of popular
right
guy.
there on the left with the coin door open.
Yeah, very popular guy on the pinball scene, and it looked really good. It looked really fun. It was sort of a bit of a horror, sort of spooky sort of theme, if you will, sort of stepping on spooky pinball's toes a little bit, I suppose. The art's again by Brad Albright, who just seems to be all over everything at the moment. So big ups to Brad for getting on a production game like this. And the art's gorgeous. The cabinet's got effectively radcals, so they're kind of, I guess, laminated plastic panels that just sort of give it a really sort of amazing sheen. And word was that it was going to be quite a tough game. You know, we saw Carl's stream, I think, a day before Expo, and you know, this is a top tier player. I think his game lasted 12 minutes. So, you know, that gives you an indication of that it was going to be a tough playing game, which I don't mind. Like I'm well into tough games. You know, I sort of can't. I don't have the time to spend 40 minutes playing through a single game of pinball. So tough games like Pulp Fiction, you know, even Metallica for me, I find quite tough. So yeah, I was all up about that, and it was tough. It's really hard to control the ball around the flippers. Very hard to trap up. There's quite a bit going on over on the left middle of the playfield, so quite easy to miss a shot there and have it sort of ricochet and go particularly down the left out lane is a really sort of dangerous spot. But overall, the game's fantastic. It's got a rotating ball path similar to Gilligan's Island, but sort of done in a better way. It's faster. I really loved playing it. And I think generally the feedback was fantastic. Also, massive shout out as well to Jeff Dodson, who did the sound work on this. Unfortunately, you don't ever really get to hear the sound at Expo, just because the noise is just unreal. But I heard it on the stream. It sounds fantastic. It's really moody and peculiar and unsettling. Exactly what it should be, I think. This is Jeff's first time. He's done a lot of sound work in the past, obviously, which is why they picked him up. First time he's worked on a production game, and I just think he knocked it out of the park. So really, really proud of Jeff and the work he's done on this.
And did he not work on maybe Dune and Labyrinth as well, or was it just this was the
I don't think so. I don't think so. I did. I couldn't tell you definitively, but I did a bit of a chat GPT on Dune and beforehand, and he didn't get mentioned. So.
And I think you made a comparison to this game that might have pissed Carl off. Is that what I heard?
What's that? Oh, yeah. Well, I compared it to Pulp Fiction. I was like,
I want to hear that comparison because looking at it, I don't see it. But
I know totally. But
he gave you a little bit of a weird look on that comment.
Yeah, you know when you say something to somebody sometimes, and you can tell they're just humoring you by saying, "Yeah, it kind of does." But in his head, he was like, "What the fuck is this guy talking about?" So, but the reason why I say that is because for me, Pulp Fiction is like it's all about the flipper control around the lower end of the table. Like the shots are quite hard. Obviously, it's single level, so it's completely different in that respect to this game. Yeah. But in terms of controlling the ball around the flippers, it never feels safe. Winchester never feels safe, and Pulp Fiction feels exactly the same way. You always feel like you're battling the game and trying to get the ball under control, and I think they're very similar in that regard. And I really like that because I think it creates a lot of adrenaline when you're playing, and and it's got a real one more game appeal, and Winchester has that, Pulp Fiction has that. So yeah, I think I don't know if Carl agrees with me, but I think it definitely sort of feels like Pulp in that regard.
Nice. Well, yeah, I mean, kudos to them on the launch. I think everyone's excited about seeing a game of this type or an original theme, which a lot of us have decided doesn't work anymore, come into play and do so well. And I think Gary Hardy did a great job of helping to create the intrigue around this. I mean, as an American, which I know you're not, I had never heard of this place. Like, literally blown away how I had never heard of it, because the story behind it is incredible. The visual of the place is incredible. Carl lives in California, so I assume he must have had some either affinity for this place or maybe a relationship with the family. But kudos to them for being able to keep it under wraps like they did, because that's certainly not.
Yeah, I mean, I sort of made the point that I can't remember really there being a comparison where, at least there's not a rumor of something happening or a rumor of a game or anything. Like, even if we didn't know the theme, nobody even thought Barrels was going to release anything, in between this and what their next big title was going to be. So
maybe they didn't know either. I mean, obviously they've been working on it and ready to launch it, but the fact that there was no other games launching at Expo is a very unique opportunity.
Absolutely.
That'll happen again quite in that way, especially for an original theme. So definitely.
I mean, it was the perfect storm, wasn't it, in terms of them getting their positioning on it just right. And I think there's also a bigger story here too, which is that, and you mentioned it earlier, just in terms of the general sort of, health of the pinball scene and pinball sales, and in a lot of respects, everybody's been talking about how, the glory days are over, FOMO is over, secondary sales have been going down, LE sales have been going down. There's been a general gloominess, I think, to the general sort of pinball outlook in terms of new in-box sales. But Evil Dead was a sellout, and a lot of hype behind that. And obviously that sort of wasn't enough to sort of turn things around, I suppose, in terms of what people, believe with the health of the pinball scene. But then Winchester comes out, similar. Also, we should also mention Alice as well. So Alice was a sellout. Again, limited run, 500 units. Winchester, I guess, following a similar type of pattern, 525 units, says Charles. So thanks for that, Charles. You helped us out with that one. 525 units of Winchester. Again, a sellout within 2 days, 3 days maybe. And I think that it just is a good thing. I think that, I don't think any of us really like FOMO, fear of missing out, and people flipping games for profit, within days of sellouts and things like that. They all are kind of quite sucky aspects of the pinball scene. But the fact that seeing these games come out and selling out in 2 days is a really positive thing. It creates a lot of excitement in the scene, a lot of enthusiasm and positivity that might not have been there maybe a year ago. So I think it's just a great thing all around.
Totally. Well, another game that didn't catch that fire, unfortunately, and is mired in some bigger challenges, Predator. So let's move on to that one. But also a first chance for a ton of people to get a look at this one. Did you get to put in some time on Predator?
If you call a 3-minute game time on Predator, then yes, I did get some time on Predator.
If you call what? I missed it.
So I waited behind a tourney player,
okay,
who got the grand champion score. I literally waited for half an hour for him to finish his game, and he absolutely blew it up, got the grand champion. And then I was like, oh, this must be an easy game then. And I jump on and literally had the 3 worst balls of my life. And my game was over in 3 minutes. And when you have a game like that, all you want to do is just get out of there as quickly as possible so that nobody sees you, because I was so embarrassed. So look, I can't really comment on it, to be honest. But but I can give you anecdotal stories from the rest of the UK crew who got to play it, and I think generally it was generally well received. I think people thought that perhaps there were some design ball path physics issues that sort of could be tweaked, but I think all in all, everybody agrees that this is easily Pinball Brothers' best game to date, and I think that should be
Yeah,
celebrated.
I had a lot of people tell me stories similar to yours. I had a lot of fun with it. I definitely thought it shot infinitely better than Alien, which I know a
Oh
lot of
yeah.
people like that one, but I think this one's on this one. So we mentioned Fast earlier. Fast does boards for Pedretti, who made this game. So Pinball Brothers machines are made by Pedretti, and Fast was partnered with Pedretti on the Funhouse remake. So this is the first Pinball Brothers game with the fast boards. Also, it's worth noting that all of the Barrels of Fun games use fast boards, and why that's important is because it's fast uses a more traditional Bally Williams flipper set. So if you don't like the feel of the game, sometimes it might be related to the flipper assembly, and this uses Bally Williams flipper assembly just like Barrels of Fun
Mhm.
games.
Yeah.
So felt good. It's a wide body, so it's not going to feel like a traditional game in some sense for that reason. But visually, it's like super impactful. The audio was really good. I thought the on-screen displays were good, and I felt like I was playing Predator, even
Yeah.
though Arnold's not in it so much, if at all. But overall, like a lot of really interesting ball paths. Definitely, just overall feels like a more traditional game than Alien did to me. So I
Yeah.
liked it for that reason.
Yeah, easily the best game to date. I thought the theme integration was fantastic. They've always kind of done that well. I think Alien's a bit of a weird one because obviously that was done by Highway and then later by Pinball Brothers. So it's kind of not really a Pinball Brothers game, even though Pinball Brothers were involved in Highway as well, and it's all very
Yeah,
complicated.
and
But
we talked to the U.S. Rep Sean for a
lovely Sean.
while.
Yep.
Nothing too revealing other than they are only making I think 150 total of these, even though the original number was like 500 or 600. So basically, what's happened is that Disney, who owns the Predator franchise, is pulling back licensing agreements for properties and in Europe specifically, which is
Mm.
actually why we're not seeing Star Wars in Europe. But basically, I believe what's kind of happened with this, and a lot of it has to do with what's going on with Arnold, is what I'm kind of inferring is that a lot of the expectations that were set with this project by the organization, Disney, or somebody else, just didn't
Mm.
end up like happening. So they actually have to finish production on this by the end of the year. That's public
That could also
information.
that could also
Yeah.
be an excuse for weak sales too.
Well,
Do you know what I mean?
like my understanding is like they basically have to finish up with the production by the end of the year based on the licensing agreement. So this is going to be a
Okay.
pretty rare game, if not
Yeah.
very rare game.
Yeah.
I feel for these guys in terms of the investment that they made in it,
Yeah.
but
For sure.
in general, I think this one's worth a shot. I mean, hopefully you guys will get a chance to check it out because
I
it's
thought the sculpts in
definitely
it were
would be.
fantastic, man. Did you
Yeah.
did you get a did you check the sculpts?
Yeah, the sculpts are really well done. I mean,
Mm.
from
Particularly
an
the hut on the
environmental
left.
experience, like it definitely
Yeah, yeah,
really cool.
yeah. Felt
Yeah.
felt like Predator. I was surprised. I expected to like it less than I did, and I was impressed. And in comparison to ABBA, like there's absolutely no contest, which is the better game. So here's hoping that Pinball Brothers continue on and just go from strength to
I
strength.
mean, look, like ABBA, I couldn't even finish a game. Like it's a clunk fest, and like I don't know. I'm sure that they were building that game for a certain market, but at the end of the day, like Predator is definitely worth giving a shot.
For sure.
All right, so
Should we talk about
uh,
June? Go back to
yeah, let's
Barrels
talk
of
about
Fun.
Dune real quick. Not a
Yeah,
new game per se, but a new to you for sure, right? What did you think of that?
yeah. So June's had a tricky time. I don't think it's had great sales. Um, I think probably that would have dictated the fact that they pulled Winchester into Expo as quickly as they did.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I think that the success of Winchester has probably brought more people to relook at June as well. Um, because look, June came out at such a hard time, didn't it? It came out amidst Harry Potter, came out amidst King Kong, and it was up against these really massive releases for the year, and so it kind of just got swallowed up. They announced it early, which I think David Van Ees, who's the CEO of Barrels of Fun, has sort of admitted that it was probably they made the wrong decision on that in retrospect. They should have baked it for longer. I think they probably so what you're showing there is the new back glass they've just released, which is miles better, I think. I mean, if you're going to get
incredible, it's incredible.
yeah,
This is
yeah,
Johnny Crapp's work. Johnny Crapp
okay,
did Jurassic Park, which doesn't look anything like this.
no,
I just want to
yeah,
comment on this. Like this, like translate alone, like changed my perception of the game because I love Dune. I'm reading the books for the first time now, but I love the movies, and I played the
yeah,
original PC game in the '90s, not even knowing what I was playing at the time,
yeah,
but fell in love with the concept of it. I don't know if you guys remember that game. Nick reminded me today that the interface has the face of, I believe, Paul in the UI, and as you inflict damage in this like resource management game, like the face inflicts damage, and it was just really immersive. But I think I bring that up because this game is immersive. We all know that, but that translate with what's his name's face on it, that a lot of us love to hate, created a bit of a disconnect for a lot of
yeah,
us, I think.
yeah,
Timothy Chalamet.
yeah, yeah,
This image right here doesn't do it justice looking at it here on the screen. I mean, this
absolutely, yeah.
artwork is freaking incredible. So definitely, if you've got this game, I recommend looking into this one.
Completely transforms it.
Totally, totally. So I'm excited. I'm excited for what is in store for this game and getting a chance to play it in a home environment. They actually had one thing that Barrels did really cool is that they had a private room on the 5th or 10th floor. I don't know what floor it was, but you could actually go play the game in a different, quiet environment. And that was really cool to get to
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
experience the
yeah. Because
game.
I didn't. I mean, I did get to listen to the sound a little bit as I was playing it.
Mm-hmm.
And it is very atmospheric. Which June is. So I mean, so this is the first time that I played June, and I was really surprised how much I enjoyed it. I thought it was a really, really good shooting game. Um, and I think probably it's not been maligned, but I think it's been overlooked. Because of all those titles that I mentioned, and that's interesting, isn't it? That it is actually a backlash and not a translate. So that's a really interesting bit of information there, and probably that sort of contributes to the reason why it looks so good.
Yeah. The technical term probably isn't what he's calling me out on. It's more that it's actually a different uh, process that it's created, and I don't know if it has. Well, it does have some mirror up in the top, but yeah, the
Yeah,
fidelity of the color is like
yeah,
really really
absolutely.
nice.
And look, the game shoots really well. The worm eating the ball is a fantastic feature. It's an
Mm-hmm.
incredible mech.
Mm-hmm.
For anybody that's into mechanics, just looking at the thing and trying to work out how they do it is just a really interesting sort of mind puzzle. I think I'm going to be really disappointed if I ever get the game and then actually see how they do it, as is usually the case with these things. But look, I'm into it, and if one pops up in the UK, then I'll definitely be on it. And I think that that's probably been due to Winchester. So I think it's been that release has been such a positive thing for that company because they were the ones with all the hype at Expo. And it's incredible to think that um, that sort of Barrels was in sort of one position 2 weeks ago and then in a totally different position at Expo. And yeah, just really proud of the whole team and everybody that's sort of been putting in all those hard hours, because they're really in a good position right now.
Yeah, totally, totally. So I I did skip. I want to give a quick heads up. So Ernie Silverberg, who did the yeah, that's Davey's face. Ernie Silverberg, who did the Monsters Inc., also had the playable mothership. So they had this there last year. This is, if you've ever played Hercules, this is way bigger than Hercules. It actually uses effectively the size of pool balls. A lot of work from Brian Allen on this. It uses pneumatics to run the flippers, so the size of the flippers and the size of the ball. It actually has a multi-ball, which is incredible. I don't believe it had too much like lighting and audio in it yet, so it felt a little bit of a different experience because it didn't have that. But just incredible work on this at the homebrew. This is actually Rob Burke's machine. So Rob Burke runs the show, and he has Pastimes Arcade, Guinness World Record holder for most machines owned. But this is a project he is investing a serious amount of money in to make happen. So definitely really cool to get to.
And you can't really sort of pick up on it because we haven't included the sound in the video, but those pneumatic flippers are just incredible to listen to. Like they just go whoosh every time you hit the flipper. And it just sounds like the most incredible thing. And there was no glass on it, so you could really hear them too.
Yeah, and the story of like how they move this thing, and Ernie has to like prop it up on these crazy props and like roll under the machine to like work on the mechs. I mean, the playfield doesn't lift up on this, guys. Just so you know, like it is a completely different beast.
Oh my god!
So super cool. All right, so I guess we have to talk about Star Wars. Is that how you're feeling about it?
Yeah. Should we quickly talk about Star Wars? We need to talk about Harry Potter too. We are running out of time, aren't we? So.
Oh, we are. Well, man, like a lot of. Oh, this is the black and white.
Which were amazing. Yeah,
right there.
They were amazing.
Sneak that in there. Okay, here we go.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. So. Your first flips on Star Wars, like tune out the world. What was your own comments on Played? What was your comments on it after playing it?
I hated it. I'm like a massive. Funny. Yeah, I hated it. I love Stern. They're my favorite company. They've made my favorite games. I think they're so much better than this, Rob. I'm sorry, man.
So much poo?
So much better than this.
Oh, I thought you said there's so much poo in this.
Well, that too. Can I say both? Yeah, can't be both.
Well, keep talking. I'll tell you my comments.
We played it. We didn't have a good game on it. We were bricking all the shots. We probably had about 5 beers in us at this point as well. So, take that with a grain of salt. I know a lot of people have bought the game and love it. Say it shoots really well. We couldn't hit the Death Star shot. Neil will say we just need to shoot better. When you sort of just, I don't know, like I think I was already predisposed to hate it. So when I walked up to it, I kind of I wasn't being fair either. So, but I didn't enjoy it. And the Stern booth was pretty empty all show. I think that the focus was away from Stern, and I think regardless of whether it's a good game or a bad game or a mediocre game, they're not doing enough to capture the audience at the moment. Attention is shifting elsewhere, and I do believe that they need to refocus that attention by being more innovative, by trying more challenging stuff. And look, Uncanny X-Men, so Jack convinced them to take a risk on that, and look how that turned out. So now they're just playing it safe. And, I get that there's decision making behind the scenes that is contributing to this stuff. And, there's a whole bunch of background information on why a new Star Wars game got released, and the fact that it was the distributors that requested it, which doesn't really, because they vaulted the original Star Wars. Distributors were up in arms that they'd vaulted that Star Wars and said, bring back Star Wars, because we just always sold it. And so then they develop a new Star Wars to then put it in its position. That's the story, but it makes no sense to me, because like why would you spend 6 months or whatever R&D creating a brand new game when you could just like unvault the old Star Wars and appease the howling masses. So there's so much weirdness that goes into this story. There's the EU stuff that you mentioned earlier, where they lost the license to sell this game in the EU. So that's like, I don't know, 20%, 30% of your market that just got obliterated over an email. So, in my head, I was like, oh, well, they must have just stopped production on this early and just released it because of that. But apparently that's not what happened at all. And they will be getting that EU license at some point. At least that's what's been told to people I've spoken to who have spoken to Seth and people like that. So I don't know, man. It's just all weird to me. And I feel like, companies like Barrels and Spooky are sort of, and JJP as well. I played Harry Potter at the show for the first time, and I thought it was fantastic. I know that you've played a fair bit of Potter already, haven't you?
Yeah. Potter's amazing. I mean, I think obviously there's a lot of really cool stuff to check out now, and yeah, I think that they mailed it in a lot of ways. I will say, like, so, I spoke positively about it from playing it, and I have to defend that on some level. So there's 9,000.
Please do. I would like to hear that.
There's just as a statement of fact, there are $9,000 Foo and Venom LEs on the market. Okay. I played the LE of this game, and the LE, and that was my first experience of it. It was on the LE. The LE is gorgeous. I mean, regardless of the stupid stickers of the AT-ATs on the side cabinet, the LE is gorgeous. This is the best Star Wars pinball game that I think you're going to be able to find amongst all of them. It's fun as hell. I mean, I had a horrible experience with it at Expo. It sucked. But like when I played it in the right environment, I really liked it. I played a pro on location. I really liked that. I think that this is a game that at the right price, which is why I brought up the $9,000 LE thing, it's worth having. I think it would be hard to, make a move at 13K on the LE, but every LE from Stern is hard to make a move on. I mean, like, the effort is just not being put there at that price. But it's a fun game. I don't know. I mean, I think all your comments are true. I want to share this photo because we had a.
I have more to say on it if you want to keep talking about it.
We were leaving the floor on I think Friday night, the night before Davey crashed and burned the next day.
You can see that crash and burn based on this photo.
We got to get this in with Roger Sharp. I don't know, man. I think we probably have to save more dive on it for another episode, right?
Yeah.
Do we keep talking?
No, we're running out of time. I don't want to keep bitching about it. Everything I say, everybody already knows.
So one of the reasons you don't like it is because you loved Potter, right? Like, what did you think of that one?
I loved it, man. I actually loved it a lot more than I thought I was going to. So
it's a blast. I say Star Wars.
And it shoots great.
Potter's way more fun. Yeah.
It shoots. Yeah, Potter's way more fun, and it shoots great. So for me, when I first saw Potter, I was like, God damn it. They've done the same thing that they did with Avatar, which is they've just created an absolute mess in the back half of the playfield that's, just wireframes everywhere, ball paths everywhere. It's going to be clunky. It's going to be hard to shoot. You're going to have no idea what's going on. And probably that last comment, no idea what's going on. I don't have any idea what's going on in Potter.
No,
we'll see.
I played it many, many times. I still have no idea. And I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah. Even Elton, which is like, a much simpler JJP game, I've still got like very little idea what I'm doing. But so even though I thought it was going to look like, I thought it was going to play exactly like Avatar based on the way it looked, I think it shoots completely different. It's really smooth. It's really flowy. It's really comboable. Yeah, I was just really impressed with it. I thought it was fantastic, man. So, I think I think for me, it looks like Avatar in terms of how they've laid everything out, but it shoots like Elton. It had that smoothness, it had that flowiness.
And way better theme. I mean, even if you don't like Potter and you don't like Avatar, it's gonna outclass that theme any day. It's a blast. It's visually like there's a lot going on with it. I mean, comparing it to Star Wars, since we just talked about it, it's like if you're looking at the same price point, it's not even a question.
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah. So well, I think
we just had a mod show. We didn't talk about mods at all.
yeah, mods. Should we? Do you want to hit? Let's hit. You hit one, and I'll hit one.
Can you do one first? Just in case you've got something lined up, because I think I need to get something sorted. So yeah, you do yours first.
Okay, cool. So all right, let me hit it up. All right, so guys, that's our Expo recap. Thank you to all our customers who came and showed up and hung with us. Thanks for being here, Paul, and many others, I'm sure, to be here with us. It was a really good time. We also, each day we had a private reveal of our new Circusville Tear Topper. So thank you for everyone who came and checked out that. We do have a wait list open on that on our website if you go to our toppers section, you can find it, and we're going to be showing more on that. But for each of you that gave us feedback, we are working to incorporate that, and we'll be releasing that at some point before the end of the year. So Mod World, let's kick. And somebody told us our show's too long, so we're gonna keep being too long for you. I'm super sorry about that.
Who told you that?
I kind of agree, honestly.
That's mean. That's just mean.
It's okay. All right, so I got the chance to visit a couple months ago the Alcove in Alabama, the University of Alabama. Is it Tuscaloosa? Yeah, Tuscaloosa. And Chad is the owner of Alcove. He also owns Lusa. He's got a really cool setup there. This is his setup for a couple of games. He's only got 5 games at this location, but he's got a really cool setup there. But he's got this Iron Maiden.
Oh yeah,
that
man.
Is turned.
We talked about this on the show. Do you remember?
A Beastie Boys game. Did I show this already?
No. But we did mention it. We did mention it on the show.
Did I show it?
Maybe a year or two ago.
So there was also a mod. It wasn't. I have to show this first, but like this stuff you can't buy. You can't buy this game like this. The video is like fully done, and super cool. So if we've covered this already,
no. So
I apologize.
The time that we covered it. They were basically working through the sound and the translate was done, but none of these mods on the playfield were done at that point. So it's obviously had a lot more work done to it since then.
Oh, so we covered it a long time ago. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So super cool. But he also had a foo. So I learned that he owns these 2 bars with the pinball. But he also does mods, and if I can find it quick enough, but he has this really cool overdrive pedal. Have you seen this?
No, I haven't seen this one.
Yeah, so this sits on the left side of the playfield. I really like it because it actually has actual knobs and the actual wiring from a amplifier, or guitar pedal. And it's really, really nicely done. You can pick this up on Pinside if you guys search for overdrive pedal Foo Fighters, you can find it. He's got an insert from an actual playfield there on the top. So I thought it was just really cool how he combined, real world elements from a guitar pedal, but also a pinball element into it, and it lights up real nice as well.
Very cool
And
indeed.
I think it includes those plastics as well, which I always appreciate it whenever mod makers are including, complementary plastics for their stuff to kind of offset it. Definitely Chad, kick-ass job on this. And really, really like checking it out in person.
Yeah. Foo Fighters is having a bit of a moment too. Yeah, I'm ready, man.
Okay.
So, here we go. So C Arcades, who I'll quickly go back to page 1. So C Arcades, who has produced a lot of mods for Jaws, has done redone the boat, has done Chrissy, and the boy on the left hand side with like a resin water and a shark. Very good mod maker who does a lot of sort of detailed work. Has been producing these slings, these sling recreations for Godzilla. You can see sort of flickering flames in them. And has been producing these for a while. He's sort of gone a bit underground, I suppose, I think he moved house and he created a new workshop, and he's sort of been busily sort of producing these. Has just recently sort of come back onto Pinside to announce that he's going to be redoing the Drake building in the center of Godzilla as well. Now, this is one that has already had a little bit of mod attention in the past. So Tom Deester, T. Diddy, has done a reskin of the Drake building, which is, I guess, just a sort of a 3D sort of facade change, where you sort of screw in these panels onto the side to give it a bit more of a 3D aspect. J85M was also looking at doing something for that as well, and making it a bit, another level again, but John hasn't actually announced or released anything. So now Chris has announced that he's going to be looking at it as well. And he's going to be replacing the entire building, which is a metal mech, I suppose, with a 3D printed one, and it looks like resin at the moment, at least the prototype's in resin. Really cool idea. What he wants to do is create panels in the side that are flaming, much like his slings were, that change depending on the building damage inserts that are in front of the building. So anybody that doesn't know Godzilla, you bash the building for a certain number of times, you build up the building damage, which is shown in these flaming LEDs in the playfield. And then finally, when you hit it enough, the building drops and allows you to lock the balls for multi-ball. So he wants to have these LED panels in the side of the building that replicate how much building damage you've got down here. So it's actually a really fantastic concept. And if he's able to pull it off, it'll be incredible. But there's been a couple of questions as to whether 3D printed resin is going to be strong enough to withstand multiple ball hits. I mean, his stuff is really finely detailed. This building can take a pretty significant ball hit, particularly when the building is dropping. So if the building's sort of part way dropping and you smack it with a ball, it can go right into these vertical parts here. And Chris assures us that that the building's going to be absolutely fine, and that he's using a 3D printing material that's going to be able to withstand ball hits. But if mod making has shown us anything in the past, then nobody's really been able to create anything that can withstand a ball hit that's not like, injected molded vinyl or something that's got a bit of flex to it. So look, we'll see how that all pans out, but a really cool idea, and it'll be interesting to see how it goes.
Yeah, is he do like a lot of lighting stuff in his mods these days? I haven't been following his newer stuff.
No. So the first circuit work that he did was the slings. And that was using a similar, the furnaces on Black Knight, Swords of Rage. So it used sort of like a fairly simple circuit of resistors and LEDs, but the way that the circuit worked is that it created this flickering sort of fire effect. Pretty sure he's using the exact same technique on his slings. So I'm not sure what technique he wants to be using on the building. If it was me, I'd probably be just doing the same thing all over again. But I think he's also going to have some issues with picking up on those signals from the burning building insert on the playfield. That's an RGB panel. There's no easy way to pick up that data. As you've experienced in the past too, Rob, the only way to do it is with light sensors, and that's a very complicated thing to do.
Yeah. Well, cool. I mean, it's Man, I don't know. I'm blown away by the work all of you guys have done on Godzilla. Underneath the playfield, I've done some work above. If you haven't seen
Yeah.
it, but
Just when you thought Godzilla was finished with modding, somebody
dude,
comes
I'm
out with
like,
a
I
brand new
cannot
thing.
believe that he's taking this. I can believe he's taking this on, but it's the testament to this game and
Yeah.
how much fandom there is around it, and I think it deserves giving it a shot. I hope it works out. All right, Davey, do you want to call it, man? You're going to TPF? You're going to make it?
Yeah, I'm
You were
going to
kind of on the fence
TPF.
on this one, right? Okay, you are.
No, definitely going to TPF.
Okay.
I'm sort of half considering Expo next year, just because I constantly get invited to DPO, the Dutch Pinball Show, Dutch Pinball Open, which is around about the same time as Expo. And obviously, I've got a lot of friends over in the Netherlands now. You know, Rens and Barry and Melvin and these guys who all sort of work in and around Dutch pinball. And I'd love to go and hang out with them on their home turf and just see what the Dutch show is all about. So I might skip Expo to go to that one next year, just because there's no way I could organize 2 shows in 1 month with my family. But yeah, no, definitely going to TPF and looking forward to it. Can't wait.
Cool. So on our next show, Stellar Mods gave me their biplane spinning thing, so I'm going to get that installed. Yes, thank you guys. Met him and his son. They do amazing work. I got a new plastic set for King Kong. I got a new plastic set for King Kong that I'll be talking about. I'll be talking about our new Alice mod. We did a White Rabbit. Davey may have something new. If not, he'll have a host of mods to talk about. So I know it's been a bit, but we'll be back with you guys soon again, probably one more time before the end of the year at least. And thanks, guys. It's always a pleasure. Davey, any final words?
Keep pinballing.
Keep pinballing.
I'm just trying out a couple of catchphrases. I don't think that one really works, but I'll keep trying out some new ones.
Keep pinballing. I won't put you on the spot next time. All right, guys. Signing off.
See you later.